What up, Bulls? Blademaster here with some tournament action. This is my first battle in the Sleigh Bells tournament, and I'm playing against Poccopacs from the First Guards clan. Very good player. I believe he's also beat Diplomat, who is also an excellent player, and I think he also beat Attila. I'm not sure, but I'm matched up with him in the first round. I've taken Parthia and he has taken Sparta. Again, this was with the similar rules as the ones played in Milk and Cookies Total War. I gave Poccopacs, I was on the top of the bracket, so I gave Poccopacs the two faction choices of either Parthia or Seleucids, and he wanted me to go with Parthia. And he gave me the option of either Sparta or Macedon, so I told him to go with Sparta. And now that might be just a suicidal decision, but the reason why I told him to pick Sparta was because on top of all the other rules that are generally applied in all the tournaments, this tournament actually had a maximum 10 of the same type of unit limit. So that meant that he couldn't bring more than 10 spears. Now still, he could bring 6 Spartan hoplites, and he could still bring a lot of heroes of Sparta, but all that would ensure is that he cannot possibly bring a complete hoplite army. And a complete hoplite army would destroy any Parthian build. Now with Parthia, still I needed the tools to destroy a lot of hoplites. So for that reason, I've brought a total of 6 Parthian foot archers. So I've gone super skirmish heavy because I've also brought 3 Persian light archers. I've also brought a total of 2 Persian hoplites, a couple of royal cataphracts only, and a total of 6 Parthian swordsmen. So this is kind of reminiscent of the whole Spartan, we will blot out the sun with our arrows, or no, our arrows will blot out the sky, scene from 300. Because he's playing a Sparta, and he's brought 3 Tarentine Cav, and I'm just screening off some of them, and I'm going to put my Persian light archers on Tarentine duty, so they are just going to be turning around, and all they're going to be doing is protect my ass, literally and figuratively, and some of them are just going to start showering these Tarentines with surprise arrow volleys, and even though they are pretty well armored, they will start dropping very quickly to Persian light archer fire. I think they have 40, no, they have 35 missile damage, but they are very nice archers for sure. So you can see they're dropping very quickly as they're trying to move around. My Persian hoplites is screening off the other 2 Tarentine Cav. He's coming in to attack one of my Parthian foot archers. It's not like, it doesn't look like I'm really focusing on this one yet, but I'm going to pull up with one of my Parthian swordsmen. He's got a clean charge onto my Parthian foot archers, but I've managed to intercept with one of my Parthian swordsmen. So while they're pulling off, I'm also going to bring one of my royal cataphracts to just destroy this this Tarentine Cav. They've gotten to 42 units so far. So I don't think they got the better of my army in that charge. My Parthian foot archers dropped by 40 men, but his Tarentine Cav have dropped by a massive amount. His other Tarentine Cav have got only 47 men left. Where's the third one? There we go. That's basically still at full strength. His army, I think it's best if we wait until he comes out of the forest with his army. Let's fast forward it a little bit. Yeah, I'm moving up in front steadily, and I think we can get a better look at his army. Yeah, he's got a total of 4 skirmishers. He's gone with 2 Gorgo skirmishers and a total of 2 Rhodian slingers. Yeah, 1 Rhodian slinger here, 1 Helot. Oh, sorry, not Gorgo skirmishers. 2 Helot slingers and 2 Rhodian slingers. So they're just going to be interspersed. He's also brought a front line of 6 hoplites, and he's also brought a total of 2 Perioikar pikes. Again, because he just could not bring a hoplite spam, and he could only bring a maximum of 6 hoplites. He had to bring a couple of Perioikar pikemen just so that he could fill out his roster. And of course, pikemen could be a pretty nice unit to bring against a cav heavy faction. I kited too late, so his Rhodians and his Helot slingers have actually gotten a lot of kills on one of my Parthian foot archers in the process. But of course, I have a huge skirmish advantage over him because I've got a total of 9 skirmishers to his 4. So, but on the other hand, a lot of my skirmishers are going to have to focus on his Spartan hoplites because I only have 6 Parthian swordsmen, and he's brought 4 Spartan hoplites in the center, or sorry, in his front line. He's also brought a couple just flanking his general, who is a royal Spartan unit. He's also brought a total of 2 Perioikar spears, no, 3 Perioikar spears, and yeah, just a couple of Perioikar pikemen up in the center. My Parthian foot archers just got obliterated by his slingers there while I was trying to kite very noobishly. But I'm going to kite into the forest, which actually means I'd be able to get a pretty decent upper hand in the skirmish battle. I'm going to charge in with my Persian Hoplites against his Periarchai Spears, just so that I can try and take off this threat, because they'd be a pretty nice way to kill off my Royal Cataphracts in his perspective. I've only brought 2 Royal Cataphracts only because the Eastern Cataphracts I don't think will be powerful enough to kill off these Spartan Hoplites. They might just die very quickly. So I'm going to charge in with my Parthian Swordsman on his Spartan Hoplites just across the line, and I'm going to purposely just move away from his pikemen and just engage his Hoplites. My 6 Parthian Swordsmen should be able to destroy his 4 Spartan Hoplites, so he's going to have to, he's moving away with one of his Spartan Hops, but I've got into the other Spartan Hoplites and they weren't able to get a pretty good charge, and I've destroyed his Periarchai pikes by just focus firing on them, killing that threat off really quickly. I believe he's going to turn around with his slingers at this point. He kind of looks like it. No, he's not turned around. He's just focus firing on some of my Parthian foot archers. Meanwhile, my archer line, despite getting a lot of kills, these Persian light archers, they're going to get charged at by Tarentine Cav, and that's not going to be good for my Persian light archers at all. These are just unprotected Persian light archers, and they're just going to do terribly in melee. He's going to pull straight through my Persian light archer line and just attack as many skirmishers as possible. I've sandwiched his Spartan Hoplites here, and they're dropping down very quickly, but he's in turn countercharged with his Spartan Hoplites onto the rear of my Parthian Swordsman, and I've killed off some of his Periarchai Spears here with my Parthian foot archers. He's meanwhile killed a lot of my Royal Cataphract over there with his Periarchai Spears. His Spartan Hoplites are going to engage head-on with my Parthian Swordsman here, and one thing that's that's not a good move in Poccopacs' favor is that he has forgotten to put his units onto Hoplite Phalanx. So that means that they would not be able to have the bonus versus infantry. He's started to put one of his Spartan Hoplites here on Hoplite Phalanx, but the other ones are not in Hoplite Phalanx. Here my Parthian Swordsmen are going to destroy these Spartan Hoplites as long as they're not in Phalanx, and his Royal Spartans here, who were just bunched up earlier, are going to start giving chase to my Parthian foot archers. So I'm going to just pull off one into one direction and one to the other direction, and while they're chasing off one, I'm just going to get rear shots with the other. I'm turning around with my Royal Cataphract Gen. He's chasing off with one of his Helot Slingers and one of his Mercenary Rhodians and trying to get some good shots off whenever possible. My Royal Cataphracts over there have just gotten completely devastated by his Slinger volleys, I think. Just not doing a good job microing. Too many units to micro, I'd say, for poor old Noob Master's favor, or for a poor old Noob Master to do well. His Tarentine Cav are just about done. 8 units left, getting some archer shots, some arrow fire, and I'm pulling away with one of my full strength Parthian swords because they were running away from that Periarchai pikes, and they can obviously try and kill off that unit as well. His Spartan Hoplites are still not in Hoplite Phalanx here. Meanwhile, my Parthian foot archers are starting to slowly but steadily destroy these Royal Spartans who have very good armor. 105 armor is very nice. But again, against Parthian foot archers who have 40 missile damage, it's not going to be enough. Even if I get front shots, it's just too much for Royal Spartans. Although it will deplete a lot of their ammo, and I need as much ammo as possible. In hindsight, I should have brought some Eastern Slingers for sure. But let's see how I do. I'm going to give chase to his Rhodian Slingers by exploiting this little gap, actually this huge gap in the center of his line. So you can see he's moving up his spears to screen off my Royal Cataphracts, and I'm going to use that opportunity to come in with my Persian Hoplites. Meanwhile, I've charged into his Rhodians and his Helot Slingers with one of my depleted Royal Cataphracts, but he's brought his Periarchai Spears here to kill them off. And they're already with very low HP, but they're still going to get a very nice rear charge onto these Spartan Hoplites who are already pretty depleted. And even though they have very good morale, 65 morale is very nice. Against a Royal Cataphract charge, at the very least, they will a lot of them will die. Even if they don't rout, a lot of them will die, which means that I can create another hole quicker. Now I'm shooting into the rear of his Royal Spartans from 120. They're all the way down to 75. I'm going to ping pong my Royal Cataphract onto the rear of this Spartan Hoplite, just cause as much devastation with as many rear charges as soon as possible. 43 kills, 45, 47, of course with trample they will do very well, but these are very strong Hoplites that we're talking about. I'm going to turn around and start shooting into the flanks of these Spartan Hops, I'd say. No, his Royal Spartans are giving chase here, and I'm going to charge into the rear of these Rhodian Slingers, so you can probably take a guess at what will happen to them. My Royal Cataphract Gen is Strategic Gen again, along with the Oathsworn. This is another unit that you absolutely need to have Strategist Gen on, because once that means you can effectively use Trample again and again, because Second Wind recharges very quickly, so you can get a Trample charge on, then run away, rest for a few seconds or whatever, and then put second wind, and then immediately get a great charge again. Because fatigue really plays a huge role in charges, especially but from my personal experience. Of course, I don't have the numbers or the hard data to back that up. This is just from my personal experience. If you want the actual numbers, I'd say the Total War historian / Total War encyclopedia Maximus Decimus Meridius would be a good place to get your info. The periodical spears were chasing after that Persian hoplite that I went in the center with, and they basically killed them off. But those Persian hoplites, despite not getting any kills at all, actually did a pretty good job, because they just made sure these helot slingers would not attack my Parthian foot, and my Persian light archers were already pretty depleted. I killed off that Spartan hoplite. I'm going to crash into the rear of his other Spartan hoplite here, hammer and anvil his hoplite line into oblivion. I think the fact that he put his hoplites into phalanx very late was a pretty big turning point in this battle. His periodical spears still have a full strength, or still are at full strength, 110 units, 70 kills with them so far. Just destroyed that Parthian or that Persian hoplite unit. But I'm going to attack the rear, I believe, yeah, the rear with my Parthian swordsman here, and I'm going to just come into the rear of these so many Spartan hoplites, so many options, so many bumps to attack. But my Royal Cataphract over here, despite getting just showered with volleys, still managed to stay alive. And my Royal Cataphract here, my general, not taking a single casualty and getting 53 kills in the process. They are very tired though. I believe that's just more of them running around in the snow than actually me using trample or anything. I haven't used trample on them yet. But as for the rest of the battle, he put his periodical spears here onto square formation, so I'm going to run away from them, and I'm going to instead attack his helot slingers and his Rhodian slingers, and that's going to be it for them. His Heroes of Sparta general is at full strength though, and my Parthian foot archers are about done with their ammo. So his Spartan hoplites his Royal Spartans here have gotten rear charged by my depleted Royal Cataphract unit, but the fact that their HP was so low meant that they wouldn't be able to do too much. They're already at 36 men. I pulled away because they were in hoplite phalanx, and I'm going to get a second charge off with my Parthian swordsman onto them. So let's see how much that or how good of an effect that was. Only a couple of kills, but these units have 70 health. That is just unbelievable. Excellent health. So my Parthian swordsmen here have gotten into the rear, or were attacking his helot slingers. Killed them off. I killed off his Rhodians, I think. No, his other helot slingers, but he's brought his Royal Spartan gen. At this point, it's basically GG time. He doesn't have any hoplites left, and that's basically the only calling card that Sparta have. I'm going to charge into the rear of his Royal Spartans with my Royal Cataphract gen. Also killed off his helot slingers in the process. And my Parthian foot archers, who are out of ammo, are going to engage these mercenary Rhodian slingers in melee. Oh, cool. Well played to Reptilicus there. Okay, so I've killed off his mercenary Rhodian slingers. No, they're just engaged. And I'm going to charge into the rear of his other Rhodian slingers with my full strength Royal Cata. I still haven't used second wind here. They are completely exhausted, but I don't think that's really going to make much of a difference here. His periodical spears here are coming back into the battle, but I'm just going to bog down his Royal Spartans. Just too many Parthian swords for them to handle, I'd say. And I still have some more here. Mercenary Rhodian slingers just about ready to crumble and collapse. Let's put this on. Let's take this to Leonidas. Let's go put this on insert, and this is the Heroes of Sparta cinematic cam mode. I'm running away with my Parthian swordsmen only because they were in hoplite phalanx, so that means they can't give chase to them. Instead, they're going to countercharge these Parthian swordsmen here, and take a look at their rear. A full strength, heavily armored Royal Cataphract that's just waiting to get a proper charge off. I also charged his periodical spears, whom you can see over there. They have routed, and this is going to be pretty devastating to Leonidas and company. Yeah, that's not going to be good. Not a good day for the Spartans, and I think that's just about it. Let's bring it back. Trample charge off. I also put second wind. So double experience chevron just from that single charge. Destroyed a ton of units late game. And yep, that's just about it. Very good game for Poccopacs. Costly victory to me. I think my surprise Parthian build actually worked for me in this matchup. It's a very risky build to bring, but against a fellow one-dimensional faction that Sparta is, it's not a bad idea, I would say. My Parthian swordsman did very well. killed off a lot of his Spartan hoplites, and in general just held the line long enough for one of my 2 Royal Cataphracts to start attacking his rear. My Parthian foot archers and my Persian light archers did a reasonably good job in this game. His mercenary Rhodian slingers did brilliantly in killing off a lot of my Parthian foot archers. My Persian light archers were pretty instrumental in killing off a couple of his Tarentine cav. Although the fact that I just didn't have enough spearmen meant that they weren't I wasn't able to protect them, so they died. They had a very premature death in the game. Parthian foot archers did very well though. They definitely helped kill off his very heavily armored Royal Spartans, which is a big turning point in the game, along with him not putting his hoplites into phalanx. I think that's what really helped me win the game. Anyways guys, that's the end of this battle. Hope you enjoyed it and stay tuned for more. Peace.